Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Friday Lunchtime Lives. Apologies for the slight delay today. We had a couple of technical difficulties, so I do apologize, but we are here now. We are here to help you, and we are here to talk levers and any other heat printing help you need. So it's the first live of the year, so get those questions in. Anything you've been struggling with in January, you wish you could have some help with. We're in the showroom here, Heat Printing Innovation Center, live in Braintree. So we have the heat presses, we have the transfers, we have the different blank garments and hats, accessories, you name it. So if there's anything you want help with today, please leave a comment, get in touch with us because we would love to help you. And we are going to talk about levers mostly today because there's some opportunities within that sphere that I want to encourage you to get involved with in 2026. And to use the potential of that artwork, which is available for free on custom.styles.co.uk. So if you want to make lovely designs like this and you don't know where to get started with, we did a live video tutorial just before Christmas on this. So it's a nice long video that you can go back and walk through the different step by step. We used an Illustrator, but the file is an EPS. So you could try it in CorelDRAW and other places if you want to get that text in there easily so you don't have to spend all your time spacing and returning and making life difficult for yourself. So there is an easy option. Just download the artwork, follow the tutorial, and you'll find it's really, really easy because this is one of the big opportunities for everyone, no matter where you're watching from around the world. There's school leavers of every age this year in every school, every different type of school. They all need levers and they get them from honestly, like 4 up to about 16, 18. So there's potential all the way through just from the levers opportunity, but we want to talk about other applications of it for you today as well, because there is so much potential and it's easy work. It's one color, it's an easy fuse, and there's so much potential for all of you. So if you are watching and you're only just doing hoodies, please let it be known. If you're doing other examples with it, share with everyone else. Because there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential, and I really want to help you go beyond just levers because every school always has levers hoodies. So it's one of those constants in heat printing. There's always levers hoodies being printed. And I'm sure many of you have got those contacts already. If you have never printed a levers hoodie, I would encourage you to go back into the archives of the podcast. Molly and myself did a whole episode talking about how to get into schools and how to pitch the levers opportunity. It was about a 35-40-minute podcast, but I think we can't cover that all today, but we've already covered that before. So do go and listen back to that. So I think there's a lot of help in that episode in terms of how to pitch the product, how to talk to people you're pitching the product to, and how to get that deal. But for those of you that are already doing it, and you would like, okay, well, I've got this levers work every year. Some of it kind of kicks in November. Some of it kind of kicks in now, but it could go all the way through to sort of June because there's always going to be new kids joining. There's always going to be schools that are very disorganized and don't get their act together in time to give you the names, approved sign-off on, hoodies, artwork, etc. So there's still potential all the way through. And now what you really need to do is start building on that order. So let's say there's a school of 150 children. You've sold, I don't know, 100, 110 of these. There'll always be some that don't want it. And now you think, okay, what more could I do with that? How many of you are actually maximizing that relationship you have with the school to get more from it? So today we're going to show you a couple of other ways to apply the levers artwork, also just to really leverage that relationship that you have to really maximize it. So I'm going to talk simple things to start off with. I'm going to assume that all of you can do levers hoodies. If there's anyone that's watching that can't do a levers hoodie and needs to see it, we'll do that as part of the show today, but leave a comment, let me know where your skills are at, where your relationships are with the schools so we can really help you the best today. First, I just want to be like, in all honesty, if you're doing a hoodie, how many of you are actually offering the t-shirt? I know that the levers hoodie is quite traditional. I would encourage you to offer multicolor transfers. It's very easy to add different color elements. You could put a gradient of the school's colors into that artwork. We've done a tutorial on that before. But if they just want classic white text or, I don't know, sometimes black on white. How many of you are actually offering them a t-shirt? Because just because they're asking you for hoodies doesn't mean they don't want other products. I know that a discussion we're having with Mel, who sometimes joins the lives, she said that she's already doing the hoodies already because the kids want them in the winter, because that's when they're going to be cold and they can really make the most of them. You know, it's a good school uniform option as well. It's nicer than some of the school uniform that they have to wear, a nice hoodie, but they're all going to be leaving in the summer. So why not offer them a t-shirt, especially if you've already completed the hoodie order? Why not follow that up with a t-shirt? You could do school badge on the left chest, levers on the back, or you could just do the levers print on the front, because if you're using a screen printed transfer, it's going to feel nice and like part of the garment. So it's not going to be heavy, even if you've got the levers part on the front. You could go front or back, but t-shirts are easy. So let's do t-shirt real quick.
Mel literally just joined, so she's just missed you talking about
Okay, well, you can watch back to see if it was something nice or not. So we're going to go in for a pre-press. 3 seconds on the t-shirt. Going to get the levers transfer. So we've got an Inktra transfer today. This, for me, is the best way to print levers work. For one, most prints for levers are one color. So just order a one color transfer. Also, I just want to give you some close-ups. I'll go through all the different channels here. See that detail. Look how tiny that text is. There's really nothing else that can really achieve that kind of detail with that soft hand feel as well. So this is a really good transfer for this. And with the average school size for levers being 150 to 160, this is the best product from a pricing point of view for you to make the most profit as well. Especially if you're doing A4s or A3 gang sheets with a couple of levers on it. This is the most profitable way to do it, and it only takes 10 seconds to apply. It's a one-step application. So let me put it under here. We're going to go 160 degrees, medium pressure. So anyone that's got a Hotronix heat press, that's between 4 and 6. And then it's going to be a nice, easy peel. Straight off. And I'll give you a close-up to show you that even with that tiny, tiny detail, everything is applied perfectly. There is no lifting edges on this. It feels nice and soft. It feels like part of the garment. This is the nicest feeling transfer, in my honest opinion. And if you're doing this onto some of the red hoodies, you can get this with a subly blocker option as well if you need it.
Somebody's just asked, Andy, I think they've joined late. They've asked why you're putting it on a t-shirt.
Okay, good. I'm glad you asked, because I'm sure anyone that's joining late is thinking, this is what levers means. I really want to encourage all of you to think beyond just the hoodie. As I said earlier, if you've already printed the levers hoodies for some of the classes, which is great, that's good that they're organized, but now's the chance to maybe have a conversation about, hey, how about a nice t-shirt for the summer? Those hoodies, you're going to get warm, or maybe you've got other activities later in the summer. You could go back, leverage that relationship you've already built to get more work. The best way for you all to grow as a business is to get more work from your existing customers. So if you've got levers, think about the opportunity for this. And the other thing I want to flag is just because it says levers on there at the moment, let's think, now it's just 26. So there's a lot of opportunity just in this. So let's say, for instance, you're speaking to the schools, you've already got the relationship. What comes next? So I believe it's probably too late for February half term, which is upon us. What are you doing for April? What are you doing for the school trips that happen in April? How many of you are just taking the levers text and swapping out for, say, a country? If there's a rugby, a football tour, just put the country name on the top and then put the players' names inside of it. Offer them a t-shirt, a polo, another hoodie. Because once you've got the artworking down, which you've got in a tutorial, we did one before Christmas, which you can go back and look. If you go onto YouTube, look under lives, you'll find an artworking tutorial that we did for this. You can take this 26 and apply it to so many other things for that school. Every single clubs, every single trip that they go on, It's activities week in the summer. So there'll be school kids will be going off to different places. Some will do sports, some will do drama, some will do English related stuff. There's an opportunity to offer merchandise in all of those areas. So just by taking the levers off and having a 26 with drama, football, rugby, country, you name it, you can use this artwork all over the place for that school. The kids love having stuff to commemorate what they do, where they've been, and especially if they're leaving, it's a chance to kind of capture those memories in a nice item of clothing. And it's going to be warm in the summer. It's going to be warm in April. So offer a pack. How many of you have been watching our videos where we talk about, say, workwear? Or how many of you offering workwear? When you offer workwear, you offer a high vis, you offer a t-shirt, a jacket, trousers, hats, bags, boots. I'm not saying you're going to get as many things as you will with workwear because there's regulation in place. There's set things that they always have. But what if you could just have a hoodie and a t-shirt? Let's say you've got your hoodie, 15 to 25 pounds, depending on the school, and then you drop in a £8 t-shirt. It's easy work for all of you. You've already done the artwork. You might have spare transfers anyway. And everyone can print a t-shirt. It's easy. So you could just keep adding and adding brick by brick with this relationship you have with the school. That's why I printed onto a t-shirt, because even if you just got half those schools to accept some t-shirts, or half the people in a year to accept a t-shirt, especially depending on how affluent that school is, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to buy a t-shirt as well. It's an easy win.
It also opens them up to people that may not normally want to pay for a hoodie at school. A t-shirt is half the cost. It means that you're making extra sales instead of losing sales.
That's a really good point. So as I said earlier, you're never going to get 100% probably take up on those hoodies. But let's say you've got that order in, we've printed, you've fused, you've sent 100 hoodies back to that school. Come back 2 months later and offer that t-shirt, because that other, say, 30, 40, 50 that didn't accept the hoodie the first time around might take a t-shirt because it's more affordable. But you might also sell the t-shirt into, say, 30% of those people that already took a hoodie. So that way you've got another 60 units to print, and it's easy work. T-shirts are easy. All of you can do that. But you can also start to offer it into all those other areas of the school where there's that levers class is doing something. Or just anything unrelated to levers. I mean, again, everyone's starting to plan things like holiday trips, anything where there's a group occasion or a communal occasion, a sports occasion. It could be those same kids that you're doing levers stuff for. It could be their last year or playing football together. So maybe they want a team, one of these. It won't be related to the school, but if you have relationships with the parents there, because perhaps maybe your kid goes there and you've already got a relationship, or you could just start to approach people in there. You could then do, a football leaving kit, or you could do just a sports tour or a special occasion, end of season awards, where there's a nice t-shirt. These are always affordable for people to buy. They're easy for you all to print, and they look good. But you could just swap out levers for Braintree Rovers or whatever it needs to be. Just use this artwork all over the place, even if it could be like something like a corporate trip. So let's say, I don't know, there's a corporate retreat for someone's business that through that school, and they see this. Then you could I could just do that for you and just put stars on the top of it. And then it's a management retreat or something, a sports day for, a business, something like that. This has got so much opportunity for this application of artwork that it's a really big missed opportunity not to offer more than just the hoodie.
And then once you've printed, just touching back on the football clubs earlier, once you've printed for the children's football clubs, the adult teams see it and decide that they need them for their football tours, their rugby tours, their hen do's, their stag do's, and all of the above.
So much opportunity. So maybe you offer them a hoodie, maybe you offer them a t-shirt. How many of you are offering them a cap to go with it? I'm not saying you're going to get all of those names in there because it's too small a surface area, but maybe you put the levers over 26, or maybe just 26, or you could just put the school badge next to it, something like that. Everyone can print. Hats are so easy to print. You could print this hat with another press next to your normal heat press and do all that work. And an easy win. Another option to offer later in the year. And it's just so easy. You could put any transfer type onto a hat, especially these truckers. I know we have a lot of questions about printing these, but honestly, they're so easy to print on. And you could just do this all day. You could easily get, say, 45, 50, 100 of these done, in next to no time. It takes about 25 seconds to print one of these. And then again, you've added, let's say this hat, I think it costs about £2.80 to buy this hat. You probably got, I don't know, 30p's worth of vinyl on this at most. Or you could just put another transfer. If you're making a gang sheet, add it to your gang sheet. You're already getting the transfer done. It's probably not going to cost you anything extra, especially if you leverage the jumbo sheets that we do for Inktra. You could get so much on there. Just put it onto these. So let's say it's £2, £3.50 at most, all in for one of these hats. Even if you're just selling them for £6 as an additional option to go with the hoodie or the t-shirt, again, it's easy wins for all of you. So just because the school hasn't asked for these, have you actually said to them, do you want a leavers hat? Or are you assuming they don't want one because schools are cheap maybe, or I know that there's not much money in the schools to pay that stuff, but there's always parents that are happy to buy this stuff for their kids.
Mel says, what about bucket hats? Well, Mel,
oh my, that is such a great idea.
Here's one we made earlier.
Exactly. So again, bucket hats will look great. You could easily get a levers across there, and you could even start to leverage the whole of this. You could maybe put a 26 on the top if you wanted to have some fun with some application areas. And you could perhaps start to put some other detail if you wanted to charge them more per application you're doing. This is one of the new Beachfield ones, actually, which is, I don't know if these are actually out or not properly yet.
I think the corduroy range is.
Yeah, this is a B687, which is available in small, medium, and large XL. So again, that range of kids, you've got the same hat can be applied for the whole range. This is actually really premium as well. So if you want to offer, perhaps a £6 trucker or a £10 bucket, but actually I think there's only about 30-40p in price of wholesale for these. But again, you could put different types of vinyl on there. Maybe you could play around with some soft foam, would be pretty cool on that too. I put some transfers onto this as well the other day, and they went on really nicely. Again, another nice option to offer: hoodie, t-shirt, cap, bucket. And because they're all going to be leaving in the summer, this is a great option for it. It's just something a bit different as well. But have you asked them, just because they haven't said they wanted one, you need to be the one driving that demand for them.
I just had a random thought
that
has never occurred to me until this very moment, that every school has a sports day in summer every year.
Every day. And if you've really gotten with those schools, maybe a hat bar at the school for the parents.
That's what I'm thinking, a finisher hat or something like that, a 26 finisher hat for finishing their race.
You could, if you know who's going to be in the race, you could even do first place, second, third hats, and you could live heat print that on the occasion, or just start to sell I don't know. I guess I can't think of anything at the moment, but you could perhaps put something about my kids leaving, and maybe there's a funny phrase to go with that one. Print some stuff for the parents while you're there. But, there's always, and if you're doing this in sports clubs, you could easily sell this stuff on to the parents at the same time as well. If you're doing something for kids leaving that year of football, or it's a end of season, they just want stuff to commemorate it. There's a good chance that the kids are playing in the same club as the parents, so it's an easy win for merch. Or if they're just there to support them, buckets, caps, t-shirts, hoodies, but you can also apply the 26 to that. So again, easy wins for all of you to apply these. You could probably apply that on a flatbed if you really wanted to. I'd recommend using a proper hat press, but again, if you just want to sample up some stuff for people, you can take it to them and say, what do you think? Or, it's very easy to get one transfer, or just cut one of these if you've got a vinyl cutter, which I know a lot of you do.
think you have to reframe levers as being just a levers hoodie to a levers experience, because all of the things we've talked about are like end of year, end of something, memories, creates sentimental value, doesn't it? And that's how you make profit, because people buy into sentiment.
That's it. And you know, a lot of the schools, you know, all of you who are watching are kind of spread all around the country. So there'll be some schools that are like, no chance, or maybe you've never got the hoodie deal, perhaps just offer them the t-shirts because that's more affordable. But for every school that can't afford that, there's another school that would be like, yeah, I'll buy 5 different things because they want to, you know, other premium options. So I'm going to show this now. I'm going to print one of these in a minute as well, but Puff on one of these Mumbles, or sorry, this is Zippy's by Mumbles. And we did a live on this before Christmas, how to print onto Mumbles products. These are really easy, nice big print area, but honestly, you could sell this for 10, 15 pounds probably. So those schools where they have got more money to spend, just put levers on this or something like that. And it's a really easy win. This is just as easy to print as a t-shirt hoodie. They've literally got zip in the back, so you can take the stuffing out and put it onto, use a smaller platen, print onto it. If you've got 30 of these to do, say you've got 150 kids in the year, you do 25, 30 of these, easy wins to just keep adding your total offering up and your total profit potential up with each job. I know a lot of people had a lot of questions about this when we were at the garment lab that we did with the team at Naughty, and Mumbles were there with these products because people are a little bit concerned about applying onto them. They're really easy. You can probably ask them for a sample. If you're going to be coming to Print Around Promotion live at the end of February, 22nd to the 24th, we will be on the stand next to Mumbles. So we'll do some live printing of these. So if you think this is a good idea, which I'm telling you objectively, I think this is a great idea to offer as a levers option, come and see us in Birmingham and try it for yourself. We'll print it together. We'll print it one on the team. I'll be there all 3 days. But I think this is a massive potential product for the whole year for lots of different applications. But it's called levers. This is an easy one. You know, sell this with the hoodie as an optional extra. You don't need to stock these. Just order them as and when you want to. You order them through the custom.styles.co.uk website. So you could order them your transfers and your Mumbles Zippies together with your hoodies, get the whole package sent to you in a couple of days. So you don't need to be, you can have a zero stock approach to these. So there's no risk on your side. Just get one done, take it to all the schools and say, can I just offer this? Give them a nice PDF to order from. So some people will take these, some people won't. But you can just sell 10 of these and you can make £5 on each one. I think that'd be worth it, to be honest with you.
Do you think as well, Andy, because the Mumbles plushie range is so varied and there's so many different styles of them, you could perhaps pitch something that's a bit cutesy like that to a younger age group?
Yeah.
So like a nursery or like a reception, and suddenly you're opening your business up to profit potential that you haven't before, because you're not just sticking with 16-year-olds.
I think you're right, because we, like I said earlier, we print levers to every age. So we're not just printing them for the 16-year-old levers. That is the biggest piece of the pie. But we print them like teeny tiny ones for like 4-year-olds when they do leave nursery. But they might prefer something like that. Or even like, I mean, in all honesty, half the kids won't care because they won't remember. But the parent, the parent will probably be like, oh, do you remember when they left nursery and we got that that plushy toy with that leaving memory on them? They'll probably keep it and treasure it because it'll be something that means something to them. So it's a really good option. And then kind of extending past levers, thinking about graduating. They're graduating sixth form. They're graduating at secondary school, primary school, nursery. You've got an option to use this type of mum, which I think is another good option, because you can take the cape off, get it past the scroll. This is really easy to print. I'm going to print one of these now to show you.
Do you have a grip flex?
I don't actually. I think there's one on the Pro Place I can see.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to use a Print Perfect pad here. I'll show you why. Even though this is only small, it has got quite a nice detail on the stitching here. So if I was to put this under the heat press without the perfect pad, I'm going to have a little bit of uneven pressure. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to bring the seams from the front through to the back. So if I was to print on the back straight down, these seams here are going to come through the back and it's not going to look very nice. So that's why you do want a print perfect pad. So I'm going to have to readjust my pressure now because I've got this extra pad under there. So this will be quite a few turns because it's quite chunky. So I've got too much there. A couple of turns back the other way. So what I'm looking for is probably about a 3 on here. So then when I put the cape, it's going to be about 4 that way. One more turn. Yeah, that feels good. That way, when I put my Print Perfect pad on here, all I'm getting is the cape. These Print Perfect pads are almost built for these Mumbles products. These are really good for the zippies as well. So you could put this inside the zippy once you pull the stuffing out. So this is I'm going to use a grip flex as well. So actually I should lower the pressure back a bit the other way. So we'll go for the 3-second pre-press. So this is our grip flex pad. Because there's some polyester in this, I want to really make sure I don't put any marks on it. Yeah, so I want a 3, so that's perfect. Then I'm going to use some glitter, just because it's just nice to mix it up a bit. Again, you're giving a different option. This is quite a nice chunky design in 26. Even the levers part has only got 2 cavities in the whole word as well. So this is quite a good one for doing with something like glitter. You could do this with puff, would look really good as well. You know, we've got 57 different glitter colors. We've got some metallic options. All of these apply really nicely on this product. So I'm just going to get it nice and lined up. Maximize that print area.
Glitter feels quite celebratory as well, doesn't it?
I think so, it does. I think for something where it's like a kind of like closing out ceremony, graduation ceremony, putting some glitter on there is a nice option. There we go. Just need to give that a hot peel. And whoa, let me show you that. Give you a little bit of a twirl. Catch that light.
That really stands out.
Really stands out. And then it's very easy just to put back on the bear, just thread the arms through.
This is the funniest visual watching you dress a teddy bear, cuddle a teddy bear.
It's not my skill set. But you could as well, if this was something that was very popular, you could get a shimmer silver ink done with the levers design as well. So we can do some transfer types with. So now looks great. A little bit of silver on it. Again, another nice option, and because the perceived value of that will be very high, so it's another easy win for all of you. All of you can put a bit of glitter vinyl onto a small cape. I'm very confident that anyone that's watching who's never printed before, it's very easy. It's a chunky design. It's an easy application. All of you could be doing this.
So Mel said she's going to use the 26 design to do a scout trip to Switzerland.
Exactly. Scout trip to Switzerland. That kind of is a very good illustration of what I'm trying to say about there's such a variation in terms of what people will pay for these designs. So, you know, there'll be some schools where they can't, you know, a t-shirt is all the option that's available, but a scout trip to Switzerland sounds kind of expensive to me. So I don't think if you were to offer them a hoodie, a t-shirt, a hat, 2 different hats, a zippy, there'll be some parents that will take everything because they're already paying for a trip to Switzerland. So, you know, let's be honest, like an extra 50 quid to them is probably not that much. And you could apply that 26 onto all these different applications. You know, I don't know, depending what time of the year. Sometimes you maybe a nice little beanie use some of those Beechfield patch beanies and put the 26 inside of that. Hats are going to be an option. So, they could be going for the summer. In that case, chuck a hat, even if they only just like destroy it for that week, it's still an easy win. It's an easy application. Just get some transfers made of their troop name, and it's easy stuff. And all of you can do that because you've already got heat presses. You've already got the contacts. That's what's really important, is if you've already got levers contacts, make sure you're making the most out of those relationships by offering them more products and seeing what the other parents in that school are up to as well, because there could be so much other growth potential within that 26 design as well, where it could be applied to so many things. You have to be the one that takes action, asks for that, and asks those questions about, when the kids go on those trips, how many of them forget their hats? Probably like half of them. But if you could do something connected with the school and supply those hats, there could be a good option. Like I say, some parents will pay for everything. So why not make the most of that opportunity as well?
It's not personal, it's just
not personal. No, you're here to make business. So let's just be honest about that. There's some places where you could look at some of the more expensive hoodies as well. Not just your standard stuff. There's lots of premium ranges, the heavyweight stuff that's out there. There's some really nice. This is one of the heavyweight hoodies actually. It's from one of the Just Hoods range. But again, looking beyond just a simple levers hoodies. The JH001s, all day you could print those things. They're fantastic. But you could add your perceived value up a bit with one of these as well.
I think that's the JH120.
It is, yeah. Exactly. Really nice, thick hoodie. Still prints great, still feels great. You really do need something like Inktra to kind of match the quality of this hoodie, but skill set remains the same. So that's what I really want you to all think about. Don't forget, just because the template says levers, you can just chop it off and put something else on there. It could say Scouts, it could say Switzerland, or wherever they're going in Switzerland on top of it. You add the badge to it, or there's just so much opportunity within it, and all you're doing is using your existing contacts to get more business. So unless there's any other questions about that, anything, I will finish up today. I'll just tell you all, it's good to be back on the lives. We'll be back possibly next week, if not definitely 2 weeks time, where we're going to be talking about accessories, interchangeable patterns, and how to turn that heat press into a Swiss Army knife and really make it work for you. There's so many different accessories that you're not all using, but are real money makers. And there's some really good options for blanks that complement those different accessories, where you can, again, get more business from your existing accounts or say yes to jobs that you might have said no to in the past. So come and join us for that. If you want to try and challenge me to print something that you don't think is possible, I'll be ready to accept that challenge. That'll be 2 weeks' time. If any of you happen to be at CTCO Cprint, I will be there next week in Lyon. So come by and say hello, and I can help you with anything you might have. If not, registration is live for Printwear Promotion 2026. If any of you would like to pre-register and get your free sample pack, do leave us a comment and we'll send you a link for how you can register for that. And we'll also send you a link to register for the tickets along with that as well. They're free. Come and join us. We've got some exciting things to show you at the show. We'll have some great giveaways, some fun competitions, and we'll be on stand D30 as usual. Just head straight down the entrance and you'll be able to find us. So hopefully I will see all of you there. And if not, I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the next live.